G'day, how you doing? Adam Williams here from the 2019 Epson Pano Awards. I'm just here on the Great Ocean Road enjoying this spectacular landscape. Hopefully it doesn't rain, we've got some dramatic clouds out there. Absolutely beautiful for landscape photography. Now, I just thought I'd take a minute to share a formula that I personally use to, and I believe, increases my chances of gaining an award in photo competitions, okay? Now this is my own personal formula. It's got nothing to do with the Epson Pano Awards, but I believe it helps me tremendously and I think it might help you too. Now, no guarantees that it's going to have any great effect on increasing your scores, but it just might give you a better understanding of your photography and the kind of image that you might consider selecting for the Epson Pano Awards. Now, in the previous videos, we had an overview of the formula. We've looked a little bit deeper into simplicity, a bit deeper into strong subject, and in this particular video, I want to look a little bit deeper into great light. Now, traditional great light generally, for me, refers to that very intimate relationship or weave or dance of shadow and light. Okay, so shadow is just as important in great light as the light itself is, because what you want to see generally in traditional great light is that wash of light across the landscape, and shadow on one side and light on the other, and then shadow and light and shadow and light, you know, as it dances across the frame of your image. Now, if we shoot with the sun directly behind us, what we're going to get is a beautifully evenly lit photograph, okay? So relatively flat. Everything will be lit without much shadow at all. And remember, as I said, generally, you know, it's that weave of light and shadow that makes great light. Similarly, if we shoot directly into the sun, we're going to wind up with a rather bright sky and often a rather dark silhouetted foreground. And we don't, again, potentially we probably don't have that weave of light and shadow that we're looking for, because we have light as a block and shadow as a block. Okay, so we're looking for, in traditional great light, we're looking for that weave. And you generally will get that when the sun is just above the horizon and coming in from the far right or the far left. Okay, so that would be traditional great light. Now, when I was looking through the online competitions and, you know, doing my research for this particular formula, it wasn't just traditional great light that I was looking for. If the light was complementary to the story that I thought the photographer was trying to tell, then I considered that to be great light in the 70% of the pattern that we're talking about here. So great light was present in 70% of the images when I went through and did some research in these online galleries. However, as I said, a lot of that was traditional great light. However, there was a fair proportion as well that was made up of light that was complementary to the story I felt the photographer was trying to say. So for example, you know, on a day like today where we've got, you know, doom and gloom and clouds and a bit dreary and a bit dark and whatnot, if the photographer took something like this and maybe made it really dark and gloomy, then I would consider that great light because it was complementary to the story I felt the photographer was trying to say. I've got an image that's a great example. Actually, we'll take a look at that one here. And this image was captured in the midday sunshine. Now, the story of this image for me is one of endless harshness and drought and dry and these kind of things. So what would be the best time of the day to shoot and capture the emotion of a story like that? It would be when the sun is at its highest point in the sky and blazing down at 45 degrees in the middle of the day. At least that's how I feel. So even though this is harsh midday sunlight, I would have still considered this to be great light, because with that cracked clay pan and the old rusty car, I believe the light is perfectly complementary to the story that I was trying to tell. I hope that gives you a great idea of great light. And the formula itself, just to wrap up the formula itself, we have simplicity, images that are simplistic in nature, images that contain a strong subject, and of course, images that show great light or complementary light to the story. Now, there's one more video in this series that we'll release in the next day or so, we're going to look at one little tip that I noticed from judging last year's Epson Pano Awards that I want to pass on as well. It kind of comes into this formula a little bit, but it's a little bit of an extension as well. So look out for that in the next couple of days. Thanks again for watching along. I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye for now.